Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello? Oh, good. Okay, I can hear me, so I heard my echo. So here we are. Welcome, everybody, and Maya's chat. We're going to watch. Oh my gosh, this camera is so amazing. I'm sorry, I have to marvel at the newness of everything. But I'm Dr. Julie, Professor Julie. I teach at Carleton College. I've studied tamarins, which are closely related to marmosets, for about almost 30 years, 26 years. And now I'm helping out with the marmosets. And somebody left. Okay. Oh dear. Hopefully they'll come back. We'll have to go wide. I don't know who's doing camera, but you're doing a great job because that was quick. And it'll have to be today because there's a lot to steer around, as you can see. So this is the enclosure, and I'll just say a little bit more about it. I know Maya described a lot there. It was really fun to put together. I was able to be there for a couple of days. And I guess, oops, now it's updated. Oh, it's on the inside. Everybody's on the inside. What? Appa says, where's my chair next to my window? What happened? I thought there was a chair that was going to be here because he's very, no, he's not spoiled. He's just great. He's a great monkey. Oh, well, see, look, and he has to, this is where he likes to sit and look out, and he can see Stompy and Noli the emus through that window. And also probably people are leaving right now. I think they're walking somewhere. And he might be able to see them as well. So he has to observe everything. So that's Appa. He is a common marmoset, white tufted marmoset. So he's got the white tufts in his ears. And Momo is somewhere. We'll talk about Momo too. I don't know where he is, but we can watch Appa for a while. I will say something about them, and then we can, I can see if you have questions, and then we'll talk about, oh, there they run. Okay. Oh, did he go in the, no, he's in the other window. So they've been spending some time in the nut house, and they've been sitting in the windows when they get out. So I think you'll see a lot of window sitting. What I noticed when they first got released into their space is they really love the branches, which is wonderful to see because they have bark on them and they're climbing, and it's super fun for them. And they're trying to explore the room. I saw that Momo, who's a little older than Appa and kind of like a dad figure to Appa, was calling a lot. He would get nervous, and I'm surprised he's not calling now. Oh, I don't have my headset on, so I have no idea if he's calling. I'm going to listen for a minute. You'll have to tell me because there's an echo. Oh, Momo's eating. That's what's happening. Okay, that's cool. Julie, do you think they're nervous? Yes. So, you know, it's their same space, and we tried to leave some things where they were. That table that they get treats on is still in the same exact space. The two posts were cemented into the floor, and we left them there. Their flaps going inside and out of the same. There's maybe the bubbles are kind of different. I think none of them are in the exact same space because they used to be side by side. If you remember on that shelf to the left of our viewing area right now, and now we have them kind of on a diagonal. One's higher than the other, and then there's one on the other wall. So you know that's crazy, and everything goes farther up. I thought we were kind of wasting space at the top because the shelving would stop and then there was nothing. And Appa would even climb on the ceiling a lot on the mesh because he wanted to be up higher. Yeah, it's like somebody rearranging the furniture, right? And, you know, they're going to try to do things they enjoy that remind them of what was before. So they got on to watch the emus in this space too, on the fenced area, but we put a lot of shelving over there so they didn't have to hang on the fence all the time to watch them. And the shelving goes really high up, and oh, I can see Appa's shadow. I think he is up above the other door, maybe. And of course he's gonna, yeah, see, he's plotting about the camera. So if Connor's listening, we already have a plan about the camera. So we'll just have to see how sturdy that is. He likes to sit on the camera, and they never had a shelf up here before. They would just run along the fence and then sit on the camera. So what we're hoping, I think, is that they'd use this stuff. He is loving the branches. And yeah, the other thing you'll see is they have to scent mark everything. So every week that we cleaned the tamarin enclosures, they would go around and scent mark everything all over again. They really don't want it not smelling like them. So, you know, this is all new and nothing smells like them right now, I'm guessing, because we replaced almost every shelf in there. So they're going to have to do a lot of scent marking to make it their own. It was good that we could hear some calling earlier. If you were here for Maya, they were doing some calling. It was mostly fees and mostly sort of GPS calling, like looking for each other or saying where they were. So they will, Appa's name is a 3-fee call. He does it 3 times. And that, from lots of research, we know that these marmosets say their own name when they're in trouble, or if they're lost, or if they're trying to get others' attention. And that's just from separating them and hearing what they say. And they don't call for somebody else, they call for themselves, so somebody knows where they are. And Momo calls 2 calls, and so we think that's his name. And so you heard, like, Momo would say, Momo never calls, hardly ever, and he was crazy calling, so that was nutty. And he said Appa twice in a row, several times. Oh, their Momo's going a little bit low. That's cool. I think they love the bark. Yeah, it probably won't last. I think I saw someone ask where they're from, and originally yes, I can talk to them. I mean, I understand their calls, quite a few of them. They're very similar to the tamarin calls, so I'm not Dr. Doolittle, but, you know, some of the calls, you never know all of them. Oh, there was some calls now. I could hear that even though I don't have my headset on. I don't have my headset on because it repeats what I said like 10 seconds later, so then it's really hard for me to talk or pay attention. But if if they start calling, let me know and I'll put it back on, and then I'll be able to hear Dr. Julie Little, ha ha ha. So the species lives in Brazil. These guys were never in Brazil, of course, because they were captive bred here in this country and sold as illegal pets. I mean, I don't think they're illegal in Texas. Honestly, I shouldn't say illegal, but federally, you're not supposed to own monkeys. And then state-wise, some states are more liberal about whether they tolerate it or not. Although lots of states have rules about what you're supposed to do, like getting training and stuff. And I don't think I don't know. It would be hard to check on that. So people can buy monkeys in a parking lot and the seller is not going to check anything. So, and that's not good. And these guys live that life. So that is not, that's why they had health issues, but also, it affects how they developed as monkeys. So they could never be in the wild. They do some things that would elicit aggression from other monkeys. Like Appa looks too much in people's eyes. He does do a little threatening too. He will threaten back, and they flash their genitals. That's a threat. They sometimes show their teeth. I've seen Momo. They just part their mouth and show their teeth. That's a threat. Oh, gosh. Appa really wants that mirror. I think it's hard for him to get on it. You can look upside down, Appa. I saw him do that before, and he's really liking, he's looking through everything in this whole place, been very there. Now he can see, but he's stretching his whole body. Do you see that? Yeah, they're very athletic, these two. Even Momo's a little older. Appa can be crazy. I'm waiting for him to just tear through this place because he can be super fast and jump. Yeah, it's a little overwhelming probably to them, so much enrichment, because there's plants, there's tree branches, there's shelving. The shelving goes up higher. They're going to not know what to not do. They want to do everything at once. It's good that they got a snack. And then I think, they might just heave. Oh, good. Momo finally went into one of those things. They were checking out the bubbles, but not going in them. And that just could be a leftover anxiety about getting crated, you know, because then you don't want to go inside a box, you know, right after that, because you're like, no. And so they were looking in them, but not going in them. And then that was the first time I saw anybody go in the bubble. So that's a good sign, too, that they'll use that. Didn't take them long. I mean, how long have they been in there? 30 minutes? It's crazy, right? Just crazy. So, we think that Momo's a little older than Appa, and Momo was probably a kind of a father caregiver. Usually with the illegal trade, they always take babies away from the parents as soon as they can, because they want to, you know, get them on regular food and just get them in pairs or single to sell them. So they don't want a lot of attachment there. And but they usually will put same-sex monkeys together. So, and Momo had been with someone else for a while, so we know he probably is older. Wow, they're really, see how, what a view you guys have with this new camera. We're way up high. This is really high right now, and we can just look straight across and see them and what they're doing. This is fantastic. And they're starting to travel together. Do you see that now? They're not separating as much, and that's a good sign. That's how they should probably do as a family unit if it's a new environment. Of course, now that I said it, Momo will not follow. He's been over there a bunch of times. There he goes. Okay. Don't prove me wrong, guys. So that's kind of pack behavior. So they're already starting to feel the room and feel that it's home and do things together. When they start trusting it all, then they'll be separated sometimes too. But this is really good stuff. Anyway, so we think that Momo probably was a caregiver to Appa. Appa seems kind of juvenile in his behavior and his development. When I was visiting, I hung out with them for many different times in one day, and I was feeding them. I brought grapes and a bunch of other stuff. And within, I don't know, 2 visits, Appa was always taking food from my hand from right away, which is not normal for monkeys, right? And he came right over to me, which also isn't normal for a monkey. It's normal for them because they're not wild. I'm just telling you that this is how raising them this way has changed them. Oh, good. I knew he was going to like the bugs on there. I mean, I didn't know they were going to do bugs because I did an aquarium for the tamarins. But I'm glad that Space or somebody found the bug one, because that's fantastic. He's looking at his reflection, and he's looking also at the movement. He hasn't figured out to touch it yet. When he does, it will. He knows to touch things, though, that look like that, because he's had an iPad, I think, before. When he does touch it, it'll explode or something. So it'll be really nice. It breaks into parts or something. Oh, good. They're hanging out. So nice. Yeah. And so anyway, I was back to my Appa story. So I started feeding him. Sometimes he was out and I was feeding him, but this time he was in his cage. So I was feeding him through the bars, and he didn't want to take it from me. Like, he would come over, and I thought he was going to just take it with his hand or take it with his mouth and then eat it with his own hand, which he had been doing. And he wanted me to just stand there and hold it while he took little bites out of it. And that would be more like a mom-baby thing. That's how they eat, you know, from a parent. And I just thought, wow, you know, because he went there pretty quickly. So I think he tries to bond really quickly with humans, and he's not afraid of humans. And he's also very wound up and gets anxious, and he also bites humans. So, you know, all of that happened because he was made to be a pet for a while, you know. A lot of these animals, like Maya was talking about Reed maybe hiding a lot, and that would be a good thing. You know, you want to see as natural a behavior out of these guys. Look at that. Momo's happy already. He's upside down. I told you guys. So everybody who's been here a lot, they don't need to go upside down. You know, that's a waste of energy if you think about it. If you're just foraging and running around the forest, no, that's a little risky. And, you know, you just see stuff upside down, which is kind of fun. So that's like play behavior when they're upside down. And the only time they would do play behavior is they felt content and they had no needs. And then they'll just start goofing around. That's what monkeys will do. So you look for that to know that it's not scary and they feel okay about it. So already Momo's showing that. I don't know where they went. The camera's looking for them. Are they maybe? I don't know. Oh, I saw movement there. It's over by the fence over there. See, they can see better out that fence too, the one that's to the left. There used to be a rock wall on there, and part of it they couldn't see through. And there's a lot of oh, he's upside down again. He's upside down over there. There's so many trees and ropes to go upside down on. It's crazy. So I wouldn't have expected them to settle in this quickly, honestly. But I was saying the thing about humans, because that's why you could never release him. Appa would walk right up to somebody if he was in the wild. A, and B, he wouldn't be able to forage for himself, really. I mean, we try to have him solve problems and get food, but, you know, they've been human-fed for a long time. It would be hard to... There, Appa's finally sprinting. I was waiting for the sprint. There's a lot of places to sprint, and he should want to do that, too. Oh, and Momo's in the other room. Yeah, they haven't had a seagrass hut in both rooms. That's kind of, you know, he doesn't know where to go. They're getting very excited now. You can see them warming up to things, that they'll start running faster, and it'll be harder to stay up with them. Okay, how related are marmosets to tamarins? Do they share territories? I don't know if we want to put up any pictures, because I know you don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to make it stressful for the mod who's doing this. But I do have like a couple of pictures, like one that is the New World monkey map. If you put that up sometime, it'll show you where tamarins are on the New World monkey tree, you know, the evolutionary tree compared to marms. But they're very closely related. They're all Callitrichidae, which is a type of New World monkey. And then these guys, the tamarins are Seguinus, and so that's their Latin genus name. It'd be Seguinus oedipus is what the ones that I had caught in top tamarins. Oh, see, there you go. Oh, that's all the primates, but that's okay. That's good enough. And so you can see lemurs at the bottom, gibbons, and apes second. This isn't how they evolved. I'm saying it wrong. I'm just reading it for you. Don't think that apes came after lemurs, because that's totally wrong. And then there's above that is all of the old world monkeys, and above that are the new world monkeys. And you can see marmosets and tamarins are basically on the same branch coming off of the new world monkeys. So thank you. That was wonderful. There, oh, you're getting the other one. So this is all the New World monkeys, and I somehow didn't circle it right, but the Seguinus oedipus, those are the ones at the top. Those are the ones I had, cotton top tamarins. And then you guys are looking at the Callitrix penciliata, which is the black tufted marmoset, and the Callitrix jacus, which is the common marmoset down there, the gold circles. So, you know, and in between them are the golden lion tamarins and all the other tamarins. And then below that, lots of marmosets, including the pygmy marmosets and the black-tailed marmosets down in the myco land in the purpley part. Okay. So the way evolution worked, it's maybe, well, so do we have to go back to dinosaurs? I don't really feel like we have to, but okay, if you have to, like 350 million years ago, mammals and other things, dinosaurs / birds split, right, into Synopsida and Sauropsida. And Sauropsida is the dinosaur bird thing. And Synopsida became mammals. And then like 70 million years ago, the mammals slowly kind of morphed into, some of them, into primates. And those are the lemurs. Upside down! Woo! We are upside down. I'm sorry, I have to say it when it happens. I know, Momo was so happy. Well, they weren't in a tiny space, but it certainly wasn't much compared to this. So, and they could move around. They had 3 levels. It wasn't terrible. They had nice little hides where they were. But this is a lot. I mean, they're stretching their legs. They're running around. It's pretty nice. So back to evolution. So, you know, 70 million years ago, we start seeing primates, and around 55 million years ago, they were lemurs. So lemurs, when you see them, they look a lot like mammals. They walk on all 4s. They have claws, no nails. They have tails. They, you know, they're kind of a mammal-y. A lot of them are nocturnal still, like most mammals are. And then 35 to 40 million years ago, from that primate tree came the New World monkeys. So they are kind of lesser evolved or older, I would say, in terms of evolution, but not as old as lemurs. They're more like monkeys than lemurs are, but they still have claws, and they also have semi-opposable thumbs. Their thumbs aren't completely opposable. They have tails, but the tails, I know that look like prehensile, but it's not. They can't hang from their tails. He just had it balanced there. They use it for balance just like birds do. They're not related to birds, but I'm just saying these things happen in parallel, right? And so they cannot like grip like you can with a thumb up opposing your other fingers, like a pincer grip. Their thumb is more along the same line as the digits. They have a little bit of gap there, so it's semi-opposable, but it's harder for them to grip the way you do. It's more like a raccoon grip than it's like a monkey grip. And then the nail, they don't have nails, they have claws. Sorry, I'm not answering questions, and you guys are helping me, so that's really good. Oh, did he touch one of them? Come on, you guys, play the game. Oh, Momo's gonna do it. Oh, Momo's really interested in that bug. They really are looking. They can see themselves there too, so it's a little hard to decide what I want to look at because they love looking at themselves. Look at that though. He is paying attention to that bug. That's so cute. I'm so glad that's there. That will be so much fun for them because it's a little tracking thing. You might think, oh my God, they're iPad babies. We're turning them into people or something. And you know, that's a moving stimulus like a bug, and they can try to track it and grab it. And, you know, there are some bugs that come in their enclosure, but they don't get a lot of bugs. It's not like they're living in the wild. So all of that stuff like visual, spatial, motor behavior, and running around on branches and going up really high makes them more calm because they would instinctively feel better up high in trees because they're protected more. If they can hide, if they're just out in the open, like sometimes in zoos you'll see they mostly have an open enclosure because everybody wants to see them. They need to hide sometimes, and they need, you know, to feel comfortable that they could hide to be away from predators. And so these guys have lots of hides when they choose to. They can get up pretty high. They also run horizontally, mostly through trees, because these guys wouldn't come down on the ground very often. They have big cat predators. They have like pumas, things like that. They have snake predators. They have hawk predators. That's great for the camera. The camera, oh, this is the first time that we're using the weird cutie cat bridge. They're a little sus on the little steps, you know. I've seen this. They've looked at it a couple times. Like he went up to the first thing, but he didn't climb the steps. So I think that it'll take a minute because they move a little bit. I mean, everything moves and they're very coordinated, but I think they're just a little suspicious of that. And so it'll take a few tries. They'll go and look at it and leave. So, oh, good. I'm glad your stream's working. I'm sorry if it wasn't. Oh, everyone's putting the sus people face. Okay, good. And then we have them split up again, I'm guessing. That's why you're in the inside part. Yeah, so I didn't finish the evolutionary tree either. So these guys were 35 to 40 million years. And then the old world monkeys, they started getting bigger, right? Actually, there are some new world monkeys that are fairly big, like woolly monkeys, spider monkeys, and they all have prehensile tails, meaning they have long tails that can grip. So it's like a fifth appendage that can be used for travel. And it's probably because they still were tree dwelling, but they had bigger bodies. And so those who survived ended up evolving that tail because they could grab any tree branch with the tail as well. Oh, were they? Yeah, my voice is delayed. I'm sorry. I saw somebody say they called though. I'll start trying to listen pretty soon. So old world monkeys were like 25 to 30 million years ago, and they're the bigger ones, like the rhesus monkeys. I used to work with those too, macaque monkeys. They're like 45 to 50 pounds. They come up to your maybe hip region. They're big. They have canine teeth, or their bite is, you're gonna suffer with a bite from them. These guys will bite you too, but they're like, it's not great. You don't want to get bitten a lot, and they're gonna bite you. They're not going to be nice pets to anybody, even though they're somewhat tame because they were captive bred. If you rattle them, they'll bite you. in a second, and that'll never end. So they're not good pets. And old world monkeys can be very mean. They're very strong. I worked with them for a while. I made friends with them, but it was hard. And then, we have, after old world monkeys, we have apes, which are like maybe 10 million years ago. And that's the lesser apes are gibbons. And then just because they're a little more like monkeys, I think that's rude to call them lesser apes, but they probably evolved earlier than the orangutan, gorilla, chimp, bonobo kind of group, and then us. And we're the more recently evolved off around 6-7 million years ago, right? So that's evolution of monkeys. And now they're sitting kind of together so they can see each other. They'll start doing this so that they can see each other so they don't have to call to explore the space. When they were doing it at first and getting separated, then they'd panic every once in a while and then call each other's names. And so, did they start calling again? I'm going to have to listen even though I have to hear myself. I'm taking a break to listen. The very long single fee call would be an alarm call. It is. It means, did something happen? Because they look a little nervous. Was there another sound or a person or a car or something? Yes, they like being with each other. They're very close. They've helped each other through illnesses. The chat can talk about that. Appa and Momo go to sleep together. Appa doesn't really get up until Momo says it's time to get up. Momo's kind of in charge about some things. Oh, is Momo biting the tree? Well, that's okay. I mean, we did sand all the branches and so that there wouldn't be any kind of mold or anything growing on them. And sprayed them with F10, and that's evaporated, so they're not going to get poisoned or anything like that. We always do that. Oh yeah, he'll probably do that. So you can kind of see that there's some sandy parts that had like green or white mold or bacteria on there that we took off because, outside they're going to get like that. Oh yes. So they would normally, in the wild, they would bite trees to get sap out and of their native trees in Brazil, like acacia and stuff like that. And the sap has some nutritional value. The other thing that we figured out is that it has good gut bacteria in it. So the sap inside these trees would get hot and kind of percolate, and the bacteria would grow inside the sap. And so they would eat gum and sap out of trees. That's one of their main things that they do all day. They would travel to eat fruits and find eggs in birds' nests and maybe some honey if there were bees around, and bugs. They love bugs. They would eat a small frog or a lizard if they ran into it. So they're omnivorous. And then a lot of tree sap and gum and stuff like that. They try to stay up in the trees because that's where it's safe. They can hide easily in the trees. They have all sorts of calls for predators. That long call is one of them that you heard. That's why I thought maybe they saw something. I see Appa's looking out the window over there. That was one of Appa's favorite places, and it's so nice for him to have a place to sit now, because just hanging off a fence is kind of weird. We wanted them to be moving more naturally and not like they're in a cage. And so if they have that shelving, I know the shelving might look artificial to you. You might think, okay, well, that's not out in the wild, but they would have heavier tree limbs and things like that that go everywhere. And honestly, they're going to get old at some point, and the very narrow ropes that move when they move, they probably won't choose to do that. I mean, as my tamarins got older, they would only go on branches and not on ropes because the ropes moved, and they could easily fall because they couldn't control their orientation very well. When they get older, they kind of lose some balance issues. And then towards the end, like mine lived to be 20 years. So they were like very aging tamarins before they went, each one. They would only use the mesh. And it was really sad because they had branches all over the place, and they would climb along the sides of the cage because they trusted it and they knew they weren't going to fall. So yes, marms are immortal. Ophelia, you are correct. So, yeah, I don't know how old these guys are, and we're just going to give them the best life every single day. And that's just going to, they get good health care or vet care and great meals. So that's the other thing. So they have to eat frequently and not very much. You can see they're tiny, and they're kind of eat like birds do. They don't like sit down and eat a giant meal. And that's sometimes problematic, like in some zoos that I've known in my past. I'm not talking about anybody from this place or any zoo that you visited with them, but my own visits of zoos and backstage. They often try to just do what's called a main feed, and they'll just go around the whole zoo and feed everybody at once because they have so many animals. It takes several hours. And so they don't have time to give somebody like this 3, 4, 5 meals a day. They'll visit them once and dump a bunch of stuff, and then they might come back towards the end of the day and give them a snack. So it's usually like main feed and snack is what they call it when you work in zoos. Yeah, we're looking at now we can see our reflection hanging upside down. That was cute. They love mirrors. We've talked about that before in chat as well, that they're very, they don't habituate to it. I don't think it's like they think it's another monkey even. I think it might be that they know it's them because they've had mirrors now for probably almost a year, and they still really like looking in them. And they sometimes treat it like it's themselves. So we try to study all of those things when we're watching them. Oh my gosh, there was a good leap and a run. And that's a shelf. We put that shelf over the door because I know the sun comes up on this side. And I always thought, if they had a shelf, they'd sit and see the sun come up because they love that, being in the sun. And so I'm just hoping Momo's sitting on the shelf. That's the sun shelf. So we'll see if that happens once they get used to the place. But anyway, back to their eating. So these guys here, the animal care staff feed these guys 4 or 5 times a day, and they give them the little amounts. And because they can't get sap, they get nectar pods, which are, nobody's up there. Please tell me they're not up there already. Are they? Did they go up there? No. Okay. You're just showing off the tilt on the camera. Okay. Yeah, that's amazing that we can look up that high and down. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, so they get nectar pods, but they're just, like fat and sweet and that kind of thing. And it's great for a sick animal because it gives them a lot of calories right away. And it tastes like nectar to them or gum, so they love it. But in the wild, in trees, it would have gut bacteria that they would eat. And they don't get that here, so they get yogurt instead of, I always fed my tamarins yogurt too, which everybody always thinks is weird because no monkey would eat yogurt, but they need probiotics. They don't have it naturally. Okay, the increased verticality is great. Yeah, I think so too. It makes the room like twice as big because they have everything above. Was he calling? Was Momo calling? Now they're checking out the inside. I saw Appa's mouth move now, so he must have been calling. Well, I don't think they'd eat kimchi. I see your comment. It might be too sour. They do like crunchy vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower and things like that. They tend to eat things they crave, and they need that, So I know that when Appa was sick, he suddenly wanted cauliflower. And then he was also into watermelon, which probably gave him a lot of hydration. He probably needed more water. And so he ate. That's about, he was focused on that. There's Appa, the white tufted marmoset at the bottom, and Momo is the black tufted marmoset up above. So they're different species of marmoset. In the wild, if they were mixing with groups, they could interbreed. That's another thing that's happening with the illegal pet trade that I should mention, that it's causing problems in Brazil. There's a marmoset called a buffy tufted marmoset, or a buff tufted marmoset. You can Google it if you want to see it. I don't have a picture that I can put up. They're very cute. Anyway, they are going extinct because everyone's releasing common marmosets and black tufted marmosets back into Brazil from the illegal pet trade. Like they'll buy a couple of common marmosets and then not want them as pets, and then they just go to the local park and let them go. And there are monkeys around, so I think they think none the wiser, sort of like how in this country people dump cats or something, which is terrible. You should never do that. I'm not saying you should, but they just decide they don't want their pet monkey and put it outside. And then, so there's a lot more common marmosets around, and then they can interbreed with the buffy tufted marmosets. And so they're actually taking over the population. And also there's hybrids, you know, so there's not a purebred buffy tufted. I think they're very, very few purebreds anymore. And so they're really worried that they'll end up losing the species entirely from all of that. I know, the iPad. Did they touch it? Did they touch it? I didn't see. They're obsessed, right? They're going to go up there and visit. They're not like us. They won't just sit there and stare at it. So no worries about them just being captivated by it. They have that kind of attention span where they have to look around and make sure they're safe. Look at Momo. He's got to look up. He's got to look over. It's one of the reasons they move around. Sometimes, is anything there? Is anything there? Is anything there? See how he's doing? Oh, now he's calling. That was 3. So that's Appa call. I don't know where Appa is right now. Yeah, it looked like a slow 3. But yeah, so they're always vigilant because they're little. They'd be eaten very easily. They're just going to have some kind of anxiety. They don't know this. I'm just saying instinctively they're going to have a little bit of anxiety and have a hard time settling and need to move. You know, you've probably felt that sometimes. Oh yeah, I saw you sent a whistle for fees in the P.O. box. Do you think they would learn calls for animal care staff individuals? That's what the staff, oh, here we go. Good for you, whoever you are. You haven't told me who the camera guy is. That is so good. So that is a 5 fee call from Momo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Appa answered with that little chitter chatter at the end. You see that? And the first 3 look exactly like when Appa says Appa. The first fee has a little upturn. This is a sonogram, so it's how it sounds. So you can imagine it kind of woo like that. You can't really hear it. It's so high pitched. It's hard for us to pick out the details, but it does a high pitch, 3 in a row. And then he called his own name, which is the last 2, which are just perfect, right? That's his name because Momo is like that. And then Appa called back. This is a familial chitter call. So it goes up and down and like that, only really high pitched. So that's very cute, right? So you can see all of them there. Bagel Deficient. I think Bagel Deficient is the one who recorded this and sent it to me. And they also sent me one Appa 3 call that I know looks exactly like the beginning of this. So this is amazing to have chat watch them and even record their calls and stuff, or grab them from the video maybe. So cool. And actually when this is big, you can see the kilohertz, the frequency that it's called at. And I think it's between like 6 and 9 kilohertz, which it should be a regular range for them. When they do the chitter calls, the familial calls that are quieter and they're also less sharp and they're lower, they're going to be in a lower range. It's still going to sound high to you, but in me, because we don't speak in that range. But yeah. Oh, and Momo is really into the trees. Do you believe this? I just think this is bringing out every kind of natural instinct that they have. Isn't this great? On this picture, the first 3 is Appa's name, and the last 2 is Momo's. Yes. And then Momo said it all. Moma said it, yeah. And then Appa answered with that was more like when they're talking to each other, and some people said they heard them talking to each other in the nut house. When I was in there, they would do that. It's much quieter, and you don't always hear it on the mics here. You can imagine that the people here turn the mics down a little bit, because you people say your ears are bleeding, right? Because it is sharp and loud. Oh, so cute. And he's in the sun. And he's on the branches. He likes that one that's smooth. See, so they're having no trouble. This is the other thing. When you do a new enclosure, you should be nervous. I'm nervous. Like, are they going to fall off the branches? Did we sand too much? Are the ropes too thin? Will they take advantage? There's the Appa 3 fee. And that's Appa saying Appa. But you can see how much rougher his name is in terms of the shape. And then it goes from 7 to 9 kilohertz there. that's what it looks like. And then when, you know, it's not going to be perfect every time, just like our speech isn't perfect, but if it has a kind of a shape to it, they usually have to mimic that shape. It could be a slightly lower range or something. I'm almost finally drinking water, which is good because they've been running around like crazy. Yeah, I hope I haven't missed too many of your questions. I'm going to try to read now. So if you want to state another question, was the first spectrogram also from APA? Oh, that was asking bagel deficient. The first one that came up was Momo first and then APA. And this one is all APA all day. That's what I believe is true. And I think, yeah, bagel deficient is explaining it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk over you. I didn't realize you were answering. That's good. As someone who studies primates as an enclosure and sanctuary like this for the marms, good for you to understand their behaviors. Yes. Well, what do you think? I mean, if you walk into this space like the collabs do, what happens when the collabs come in? They go up high. They might come down for a minute or two. You're never going to get oh, here we go. Look, see, they don't know we're watching, right? There's a camera that's not moving, that's on the wall many feet away from them, and we're zooming in. We're like right next to them right now. You could never do this live. You could never do this live. They would scatter. If you got up on a ladder and stood that close to them, there's no way, right? So you can see all sorts of natural behaviors this way that you could never see in a zoo setting or live in a sanctuary. Everyone says, oh, I'd like to visit. And it was fun for me to be there and meet everybody. I won't lie. But, you know, I see a lot more behavior on the camera, honestly, than I do there. And I can watch for hours and I can see what's going on. You know, I can really see what's going on with them because I know monkey behavior very well. I can see what's going on with some of the other animals too, because I've worked with other species than monkeys. But it's really useful, and it's good for like if you were somebody who wanted to study calls, this is ideal. I mean, there's video of them, digital video of them every single day making calls. Like you could just sit there in a basement room and roll through the footage, right, and get every single one. I mean, it's crazy. You'd never be able to do that. If you were live, you'd sit there for a couple of hours and go have lunch, you know? I mean, you get everything. You get everything, as long as the camera's in the room. Now, sometimes they're not on camera and then you miss it, but I think I see enough to know. I will often say something if I think something's wrong or something like that, so, which is pretty rare, but every once in a while I think there's a problem, so I'll say something when I see that, oh, this is fun. There's more bubbles, I think, for them to climb in here than there used to be. There's Momo upside down. Momo, it's his day. It's a Momo day, you know. I mean, the guy is upside down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to read now to see, do you have any other questions you want? When Abba was sick, you made us all feel okay. I'm glad. I mean, he recovered pretty quickly, I have to say. I had monkeys down much longer. I mean, I would have a tamarin and I'd be hand feeding mango and melon 5 times a day, and they would be laying on a blanket, and that's it, you know, and I'd have a syringe for water, you know, I mean, and that might be a week, and antibiotics. And so it's a lot, can be a lot worse. And I can usually turn him around, but it's a lot. And Appa rebounded pretty quickly. He's one, he can lose weight fast when he doesn't behave and eat properly. And so we have to watch his little system. Do you think more marms would be a good idea, or since these two are paired, it would be a bad idea to introduce other individuals? Yeah, I mean, it is tricky to make a larger group. You know, they're primates. They're going to have, they are very social, and they understand each other's position and what's okay to do and what's not okay to do. They also expect that of people. They're interacting with people, and they treat people differently. If you watch long enough, like if some of the guys go in there, and they don't often go in there, there's a totally different behavior from the monkeys than the animal care staff when they go in there. and they have favorites, of course. And then if Maya shows up, of course, Appa's all over that. So, things like that. But I mean, that means they're identifying individual persons who are not their species and also treating them differently. So if you introduced new monkeys, it would be rough. It's not easy. You have to do it. I always did it like they did the wolves. Like they'd be separated. There'd be mesh in between them for a month. You want to see if there's any aggression. When they fight, it's not pretty. These monkeys will fight tough, so you don't want to, and they might look fine and all of a sudden they're fighting. So you have to go very slow, and it's not always a good outcome. And then you have animals like, who can't go together. Then are you going to build a new enclosure for these two or three you brought in? It's very hard. I have a lot of sympathy for monkeys who have been captively bred and, surrendered. Like these guys, I also work with research primates that are retired. They all have quirky behaviors because they've had odd things happen to them and they've been around people too much. And so thinking that you can combine those kinds of animals easily, that's not going to happen, right? And thinking that would be better for them if they're going to be the one that gets bullied or, somebody's fighting with them every day, that's not good. So you really have to have a good motivation or a good reason for doing it. I mean, it is hard to think about future because they're not always going to be together. So, what do you do when you only have one? For example, I was left with that several times. And when younger in my career, I would bring in a few and see if I could do something. And towards the end, I just took care of the one that was left because I was always going to have one. You always end up with one because they're not all going to go at the same time. We don't have to talk about that. I'm sorry. What happened? Everyone's sad now. It's okay. They're doing well and we're making them happy. At least two, maybe with a warble afterwards. Oh, was there a fee or something? What's happening? You're just being quiet. No animals live forever. Yes, that's true. These guys would go around to eat an area. They might go as much as a mile through trees if there was a mile available. A lot of trees have been cut down, so it's hard for them to have a good foraging path. But they often would go back to an area to sleep. So, they're kind of stay animals. The stuff that they eat often reproduces. Like if they're around fruit trees, if they wait a few days and go back in their path, they'll find fruit that's ripe. So it's better to kind of circle the path. If you're a stay animal and you're eating food like that, here we go. They're out. I'm sorry if I made you sad about that. These guys are very healthy. And I don't expect anything to go wrong for many years. So you don't have to think about it. I don't think I would put a bunch of monkeys in there. Two same-sex monkeys that get along, that's great. They have social friends. They have interactions. They're happy. They're sharing. There's not a lot of tension there. I mean, I don't think you could make it any better. I just got here. I missed the reveal on most of this. How's it going thus far? I think it's great. What do you guys think? I mean, they are exploring everything. They've been going up pretty high. They haven't gone on the ground yet. I think Momo climbed down a trunk a little bit, or Appa did, but they're basically staying up and using a lot of the tree branches at first. They didn't go in the little hides right away. They still haven't gone in those weird hides I bought that are in the corner by the bamboo. I don't think they went in there yet. I'm hoping they'll start using those. We tried to tie them up better so that they could get on the perches better because the perches were not facing anything. But yeah, look at them. They feel, it looks like they're content. They don't have to be right next to each other. They're not afraid. Remember what they look like, for example, when it's raining. They sit next to each other inside something. That's what they look like when they're nervous. And if weird people come in, they'll stop calling and they just go up high. So you don't see any of that behavior. That's really good monkey behavior. That Momo's positioning, he's kind of hanging. That would be very normal in the wild. I haven't seen them do that before these branches. Look at that. This is really bringing out a lot of really great monkey instinctive behavior already. It's just, I don't know. Apple looks like he's eating a bug. Okay, good. Yeah. Do you have some book recommendations to read up on primates? I'm trying to think of. So I read a lot of academic books, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. If you want to read about all monkeys, I would read Primate Cognition, that book. That's really good. How Monkeys See the World is a good book. That's a field monkey book. There's a lot of books by Franz de Waal. He studied chimps mostly, like Tree of Origin and Good Natured. And there's a bunch of, he just died recently, Our Inner Ape, The Moral Animal. He wrote a lot of stuff. So those are good, I guess. I mean, they lean in the academic direction sometimes. Not that you don't want to read an academic book. It's just all of a sudden you're in a study and there's a graph, where I think what you want to do is know more about the monkeys and in the wild and stuff. So, but why did you leave me? Are they calling it? Wow, that was a lot of running for Momo. Yes, that was lovely. I'm just so glad you guys are here and we're watching this together. It's so fun, isn't it? It's so wild to see them in here for the first time. Oh, I was afraid. Okay, I will admit, I was afraid of that branch that Appa just ran across. When we put that up, I think it was Lucas's idea to put that over there. And I'm like, I don't know, because it just seemed like it's a long distance to go with nothing underneath. And it was just me being a nervous mom with a child on the, jungle gym or whatever. And it's fine. They're fine. Oh, there's Momo. He's like, what is going on? I think they can kind of hear the camera or something. Sometimes they, when it's moving. Oh, so, or maybe they see the reflection of the lens moving on the inside. There's something they're triggered by, because they'll go over to the camera when you're moving it. I can't believe he's already on the camera. I cannot believe this. Oh, he's not really though. Oh no. That's an amazing camera, first of all. And that is so cute. That is amazing. Well, he probably already peed on it, if you want to know the truth. There's no way he went over there and didn't pee on it. So it's been christened. So, that's that. Oh, look, Appa's laying down, relaxing on the new shelf. This is like luxury. We're in a spa. We're in a monkey spa right now, chat. We're relaxing. That's crazy. Sploot. I know. Yeah, exactly. So cute. See, what a calm face. Look at that face. He's not nervous at all. He's kind of looking at the emus, kind of funny. But that's always, he doesn't get it. He's like, why? And why are you so big? And you're a bird. That's just wrong. That's what Appa says. I'm reading into his mind now. Yeah, I don't know where Momo is. Is he on the camera again? I don't know. That is an amazing camera. We could not do any of those things. Those people who do camera, including me. It's like we were restricted on looking down and looking up and everywhere. Oh, we're still going to go on the ceiling. I don't want them on the ceiling. I thought they'd just go, okay, that's fine. Fine. Yeah. It's one of the reasons we're having trouble, or at least I'm having trouble figuring out how to put UV lights in the other room, in the closed room, because I don't want them on the ceiling. Because I want the lights on the ceiling, but I don't want the monkeys on the ceiling. Those lights heat up, and you can't cover them, or they don't throw UV at all, and so they have to be open. And they get hot, and so we didn't do it. And I think Kayla said they almost never have to stay in there all day. And as long as they get 15 minutes of sun out here, even in the winter time, they can come out and do it. Upside down, we're climbing upside down. Momo is just the upside down boy. Can I ask why you don't want them on the ceiling? Well, it's just the most unnatural part of the room. I mean, it's just fence. But, you know, if they want to, and I thought maybe they just needed higher shelving and higher branches, and they would not choose the fencing. So that's why we climbed all the way up the wall. But that's okay. I mean, you know, they have fence in other places. So have they been on their little staircase all the way? No, they haven't taken it. Momo is tempted. He sat at the base of the little stairway going up. But it's still early. I mean, they're exploring a lot of stuff. They need to check everything out, of course. So I'm gonna do some gifts. Is that okay? Can we do gifts? Hold on, if it's still set up. Oh, I don't know where my mouse is. There it is. Because it's getting close to when I have to go, and that's not good. I have to do gifts. Okay. Did that one go? Yes. I have another one, so don't worry if you don't get it. It's a different color than that. It's not the blue one. I don't know what color it is now. I can't remember. Oh, Peepo Beanie. Does anyone know? Oh, no, that's the little decoration on the front. Somebody asked a question. I didn't see it. That's why I don't like to give gifts, because then you all say, pick me or enter, and then I can't read. But I will try. I will try. I love the Dr. Okay. Yes. Well, you're here, and you could be anywhere else, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. We are going to talk about animal-human interaction next time. That's the topic, because I said the next time we would do that, and we're not, because these guys need a lot of attention. And that's going to be why people buy these animals to begin with, or have them as illegal pets, the exotic pet trade, but also, how we feel about animals, how people treat animals. Everything. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to be watching. Did somebody win already? Oh, good. Okay, so I'm going to do another one. Here we go. I'm doing another one as soon as somebody wins. I clicked it. It should come up soon. Okay, there you go. It's a noodle hat. I love the noodle hat. And I have a black one and another color one. I don't remember the color that I picked. And then there's one more hat we're going to do. Because it's cold, you need a beanie. Upside down. That's what we're doing. We're doing the upside down dance. He loves these branches. You guys have rocked his world with these branches. I thank the Alveus staff, everybody, Lucas, Daniel, Kayla, Amanda, Maya came and helped. Maya sanded a branch for probably at least an hour and a half. Maya put up some of those shelves. Maya did a lot of work. And Trudy for helping today with the trapping of them so they could come back. That was sounded like it was tiresome. Those are all the people I saw and or worked with. Oh, we didn't catch that bug though. They like the shelves to watch the emus. This is so good, so they don't have to hang. Did somebody win the thing yet? Okay, good. So then we go to the next one. I think there's one more. Okay, here we go. So I have a student, sorry. I had to say I'm on Zoom, which is not true. I'm not on Zoom, but oh my gosh. Okay, that was 3. He did 3. He said where he was. That was him saying where he was. I'm sorry, I'm a little delayed. So you may see it before me. It's like a 5 to 7 second delay between me and you. My voice and what I see too, I think. I love that shelf. That shelf is going to be awesome. It has so many ropes going to it. That's the sun shelf for the morning, I think. Oh yeah, I'm glad you like that. I try to, gotta camp it up a little bit with the license plate, right? Plus they're Texas monkeys, so he is looking out that window. So they almost never stayed on that side, and I think there's interesting birds. I've seen birds out by those trees, so I think that's good for them too, to be able to see the wildlife around them better. So yeah. I guess that's the other reason I don't want them on the ceiling is I think of the other lights I want to put in, and I don't want them near those. So if they're used to going up on the ceiling, we're not going to be able to put them up there, I don't think. You have to cage them, the lights somehow, so they don't climb on them. And then they heat. I don't believe in that really, because it's wires, so they're going to heat up. Oh, upside down and in the mirror. Or is it upside down? Maybe he's right side up. He loves hanging for that. Anyway, it's almost 4 o'clock, so I'm gonna have to go. Oh, question, do you think they recognize the spaces they're old? Yes, for sure. It's the same dimensions. There's a lot of similarities. For sure they know it. It's just there's so many new things in it, which is fantastic. That's why they are exploring the way they are. I hope you enjoy watching them for the rest of today and tomorrow. They'll be doing this. Wait till they go in the bamboo. That'll happen soon, and they'll start killing those bugs. We don't want to kill real bugs, but they'll start touching the bugs on the iPad. All right, I have to go. Thank you guys for coming, and I have a show next Thursday if you want to come. Okay, next Thursday, 3 to 4. Bye.